Just got to refresh the sucker a little bit. There we go. Am I live? Oh my God. I think I'm live. All right. What's up? What's up? What's up? I'm ready. Are you guys ready? Hell to the no. You guys know that song? Hell no. That's a good song. I'm not a good singer. Oh my God, what did I do to the mic? All right, guys, let's get to your fantasy football questions. I'm excited. Instagram's here. YouTube is here. I see some questions. Obviously, guys, if you want, there's going to be a lot of questions coming through. If you want priority, there's a dollar sign there. I think I'm supposed to answer those questions. So I guess hit the dollar sign if you're guaranteed to get your questions answered, okay? But I will try to get to as many as I humanly possibly can. We got over 70 people here. We got a bunch of people loading up on YouTube. What's up, YouTube? Oh my God, I'm on YouTube. Wow, this is awesome. I like that. I should do this every night. I like YouTube too. I like Instagram. I like YouTube. There's no favoritism between you guys. All right, guys, fantasy football is almost here. I am beyond excited. We're almost at fantasy football season. We got under 2 weeks to go. Obviously, I don't need to state the obvious. Thanks, Captain Obvious. Why don't you just answer some of my questions? Before I get into this show, guys, you know what I'm going to plug. Comment, because you guys know. Leave it in the comment. You know what I'm about to say right now. You guys know 16 rounds. So if you guys got questions, I'm going to answer those questions 16 rounds because you're going to know what to do. Simple. I've got all the optimal players, how to draft them, which round to draft, and get the 60-round draft session at thefantasyfootballaccounts.com. Everybody just leave the live and just get 16 rounds at thefantasyfootballaccounts.com. Everybody just leave. Get the hell out of here. Don't waste my time. Don't waste your time. Just get 16 rounds. It has all the answers. I'm kidding. All right. No, it does actually. But all right, so let's get to some questions here. Why do you hate Nick Chubb? He's easily the best running back in the league. Please prove me wrong. Listen, it's not that I hate Nick Chubb. I actually like Nick Chubb. I think he's a great pure runner. I think he's elite talent. I just can't see Kareem Hunt being ignored. It comes down to simple math. They're going to be splitting carries, and Kareem Hunt outscored this guy 6 out of the 8 weeks. And I know the argument. Stefanski's there. He ran Dalvin Cook last year. Well, Kareem Hunt is good. Kareem Hunt is really good, and Kareem Hunt can't be ignored. He was the rushing leader in 2017. He's going to eat. So I'm not sold on Nick Chubb at that ADP. It's way too much, okay? All right, let's go to some questions here, okay? Thoughts on Teddy Bridgewater? I actually like him as a backup quarterback. Apparently, he's got a really good connection with DJ Moore and Robbie Anderson. Robbie Anderson's a burner. I've been talking to my friend Big Cat, who's actually a friend of mine, and he's a big Carolina Panthers ambassador on YouTube, and he's saying Robbie Anderson looks good. I like Robbie Anderson as a late-round sleeper. Not willing to invest in the earlier DJ Moore pick, but I do like Bridgewater as an efficient backup quarterback with some upside, okay? Saquon's hurt, people are saying. You guys don't put fake news on here, please. How many big money leagues are you in? I'm actually getting more into DFS this year. Money leagues are good, but I like the year long. I don't like to have too many leagues going at once because then I get pissed off because if I miss out on a player that I like, he's in one league and he's not in the other league, I'm going to get pissed off. So I try to limit it to 4 leagues year long through the season. But I'm going to be playing DFS hardcore. I'm actually going to be offering DFS advice at thefantasyfootballaccounts.com under Fantasy Direct, delivering you my optimal players via text and waiver wires, everything. Fantasy Direct, guys, at thefantasyfootballaccounts.com. Order a package. It's $40 for the whole year. I'm going to be texting you guys everything you need to know throughout the year. Optimal players to start each week, starts and sits and all that stuff. Saquon's going second pick. Yeah, I like him first overall. I like the ceiling. There's a chance he might sit out one game. Even if he sits out one game, I'm not really concerned because he's going to tear it up when he gets back, okay? He's got a chip on his shoulder this year. Even David Johnson. People can ask me, why do I like David Johnson so much? He's just had an unfortunate circumstance the past couple of years. What happened to David Johnson? Let's talk about it. 2016 pinnacle year. We had 20 all-purpose touchdowns, 16 on the ground, 4 receiving. 2017, he had the fluke wrist injury. That's not injury prone. If you catch a ball, run downfield, and you get smoked by a defender, you're not injury prone, okay? It was a one-time thing. If you guys don't know, in 2018, he actually played the season. He finished top 9 in PPR. Look it up. David Johnson was a top 10 running back in 2018, and then last year got screwed by Kingsbury. So it's just unfortunate circumstances for David Johnson. It's not that he's a bad player, and I'm stealing him in every round in the 4th round. It's I'm a fantasy football robber here. I'm a fantasy football robber. All right. Johnson is not old news, guys. I still think he's got his last hurrah for him and Gurley, and I'm gonna ride them for fantasy this year. And then after that, I'm not gonna be talking about. That's why I've got the Falconos hat. Falcons. I actually want to order a Texans hat. I'm not even a Texans fan, but I want to order one. I'm gonna go on Amazon. If I'd use my phone, order one on the phone, but I'm using my phone here as my live, so I can't do that. But I actually want to order a Texans hat because I just want to just wear it to promote David Johnson. Itchy back here. Back's itching. All right, let's keep going with the questions. Thoughts on Joe Burrow? I'm not drafting him for fantasy. I definitely see the upside in Joe Burrow. Again, suspect offense, rookie quarterback. Just not going to do it. There's better backups I can get later. I can get Big Ben, Phillip Rivers, Drew Lock, who I think has a higher ceiling and a better offense all around. Drew Lock apparently looking really good in camp. Actually, guys, also fan-to-fan network. Write this down. Get a pen. Everybody get a pen. Okay, we're gonna do an exercise together. I'm telling you, what I tell you guys is benefiting you guys. It's gonna give you guys ultra value. Okay, first time ever done. Write this down. Who uses pens anymore? Put it in your notepad on your phone. Fan2fannetwork.com. Okay, head on over there, guys. It's got all your news and notes from every top YouTuber. Fan to fan. I'm the ambassador for fantasy. Fan2fannetwork.com. Okay, I just put it on here on YouTube. Did I spell that right? Yeah, fan2fannetwork.com. Bookmark this, guys. All the latest news and notes right there. And we go live every Sunday morning. We're going to be doing virtual tailgating. Can you believe this? A virtual tailgating where we're going to answer your questions for the ambassador. Anything you want about the NFL team. We're going to do a roundtable every Sunday morning. Fan to Fan Network. You can follow us, FTFN, on YouTube. Jump on over, FTFN. Frank Thomas, Norman Thomas. FTFN. Follow on YouTube. It's trademarked. We got something huge happening with influencers. If you guys are writers, anyone interested, DM me on Instagram, Fantasy Football Counselor Writer. You could be a part of Fan to Fan Network if you guys, loyally follow a team. If you know somebody, I'm looking for people. Okay, let's get back to some questions. FTFN, go follow Fan to Fan Network, bookmark the page. All right, Kenyon Drake, how do I feel about him? That's a good question. How I feel about Kenyon Drake, guys, is very simple. Kenyon Drake has a high ceiling. He really does. I love the upside, but he's only had like 3 to 5 good games. Like, let's be honest here. I'm not going to be like all hating on Kenyon Drake right now because he took David Johnson, my guy's, job. At the end of the day, Drake has a huge opportunity to succeed, but you got to understand Chase Edmonds is still there, right? And we already heard Kingsbury, who's a bit of a snake, say that, Chase Edmonds could be a starter. Like he's looking like, I don't trust that. And then they got the local hometown hero in Eno Benjamin. And I watched some tape on Eno Benjamin. He's a strong runner. So I like Kenyon Drake, but I'm not drafting Kenyon Drake. I just don't think that the juice is worth the squeeze, as you say, right? I'm not going to take the risk on Drake and draft him. I'm just not going to do it. Like, just not going to happen. Let's get some more questions. Golden Tate, again, years to wow, I'm looking for high ceiling guys. If I'm getting a guy mid to late, I'm going Michael Pittman, Chase Claypool. I'm going for some high ceiling guys, Deontay Johnsons of the world, okay? If you guys want your questions guaranteed to ask, there is a $sign here on YouTube. Help support the channel. I'll see the $sign come up, and I'm guaranteed to answer your question on YouTube. If you guys aren't following on YouTube, Instagram, follow on YouTube at Fantasy Football Counselor. What about Connor? Now, Connor, if you guys saw it, I did a post on Connor calling James Conner a lion. I love it. The fact that he overcame cancer and didn't opt out of the season, that's pretty remarkable for a guy that overcame adversity and is still playing. So I really respect James Conner. Now, for fantasy, am I drafting him? It's hard to trust him, especially if they got McFarland there. They've got Snell there. It's hard for me to trust that he's going to finish the entire year based on what we've seen. Again, I like him. I really, really like James Conner, but I'm going to have a hard time trusting him, okay? Cooper Kupp or Robert Woods. I like the upside of Cooper Kupp. Now, if you look at the stats, people always say, Joe doesn't understand stats. He doesn't talk stats. The reason I don't talk stats is because I don't want to bore you with stats. I just tell you the answer because it's all here. I process it. Now, when you look at Cooper Kupp, Robert Woods only had, 3? Look it up. 3 touchdowns. Is that going to go up? I don't know. I think Cooper Kupp is still the primary target there. Van Jefferson apparently looking really good. Again, I I don't trust that situation too much with Van Jefferson because it's a three-headed monster, but I still like Cooper Kupp being the guy and the favorite target there. Let's go back here to Instagram. I'm going to kind of bounce back and forth here. Can you say happy birthday? You guys are being stupid with some of your stuff. Guys, I'm going to block you if you guys are being rude. I don't like that here. Someone's being rude on Instagram. I blocked. I'm not going to say what he was saying, but he was trying to be funny. Counselor, I got a question. What are your thoughts on yeah. Another funny one. I get. They want me to say stuff like Oliver Close Off or something. Like they're giving me like a first name and a last name, and they're trying to trick me into saying certain things like Jack may offer, right? Jack like may offer, right? Get it? Like they want me to, guys, enough with the jokes. Let's get serious. I want people to win their leagues. Let's ask serious fantasy football questions, okay? Let's get serious, okay? All right. So Jalen Reagor, I just don't. There's the two tight ends set there with Ertz and what a Goddard. I don't trust it, man. I'm really suspect about that situation. And Jalen coming in and Carson Wentz not finishing a season. You know, I don't like it. So people are saying I'm distracted now. I'm just going to ignore them from now on. I'm just having some fun. I don't mind interacting with you guys, okay? All right, so let's keep going with the questions here. Back over to YouTube. People are saying weird-ass bitches to people. Yeah, there's a lot of weird trolls on here. Josh Allen or Matt Ryan? I like Matt Ryan. I really like him. I like the offense here. That's why I'm wearing the Falcons hat. I'm not a Falcons fan, but I'm a Matt Ryan, Julio Jones, Todd Gurley fan. So I like Matt Ryan a bit more than Josh Allen. Got to stay hydrated here, man. Just talking a lot. It really, just try doing this for a long time. Your throat dries up. Okay, so this guy keeps spamming my page here, and that really doesn't get answers because I've been ignoring it for a while, but I'm going to answer it. Higbee or Hurst? Listen, that's a good question. Higbee, if you want that safe tight end, Hurst has a little bit of a higher ceiling, but don't, the ceiling for Hurst is high, but don't just expect Hooper numbers out of the gate. You could have less or you could have more, and nobody really knows because we haven't seen him on the field with Ryan. Now, I imagine Todd Gurley catches the ball in the backfield quite a bit, getting a lot of receptions. You know, Hurst could just be used more as a blocker. I definitely like Hayden Hurst. I definitely like him. I think Higbee's a little safer. If you ask who would I'd rather have, I like high ceiling guys. So I'm going to go with Hurst over Higbee there, okay? Dalvin Cook or Derrick Henry? Easily Derrick Henry for me. What about Pollard as a stash? I mean, if Zeke goes down, but knock on wood, he doesn't, because Zeke is one of the most durable guys. I just don't like Pollard. He's just going to be a guy. I think it's a waste of a bench spot unless Zeke goes down, which God forbid he doesn't, right? So I'm personally not going to be stashing him. Back to Instagram here. Guys, by the way, get that 16-round draft, which as soon as we're done here, I assure you guys, and again, let me answer a question here. I'm going to tell you guys what 60 rounds is. I'm going to keep rapid firing questions, okay? By the way, I love A.J. Brown. That's your question. I love A.J. Brown. Love Matt Ryan this year. If Matt Ryan had played the first 6 games last year, I talk about this on my YouTube channel in my videos. If Matt Ryan played out the entire season, he would have actually finished as a top 3 quarterback, right behind Dak Prescott, who had 337 fantasy points. He would have finished in and around top 2, top 3, okay? He would have been there. That's just a fact, right? Matt Ryan was on a tear. So I do like A.J. Brown taking a step up. Love him this year. Cam Newton or Goff? I think Goff is safer, but Cam Newton's got that ceiling. Joe Mixon's good. I just don't trust him. Joe Mixon's pinnacle year was 2018, where he peaked at like 8 touchdowns, like 240, 260 points. I like big point getters. I just not a guy that I see a huge ceiling with, okay? By the way, people ask what 16-round draft solution is. Guys, video training. I walk you through every single round, who to draft in each round with the video and the notes, and I do a full mock draft for you guys in 16 rounds. If you're a veteran, if you're an expert, or if you are a beginner, 16 rounds is going to accommodate you, because here's why I hate draft kits. I'm going to tell you guys why I hate draft kits. It's you know, I got to tell you, if you go to any site, NFL.com, and you're doing a fantasy football draft, when you pull up the queue of players, like you filter by running backs, quarterbacks, wide receivers, those rankings are Concheapsis rankings. They're ADP. And that's what you're getting in draft kits. You're not getting anything special. You're not getting anything unique. With mine, I'm omitting players that could potentially bust and guys that you may be paying too high for. And I'm giving you all the sleepers, breakouts, everything in 16 rounds. So I assure you guys, it will really help you. Thank you. I love you too, Michael. It will really help you guys crush your leagues. Get the 16-round draft solution. And I know this sounds like a sales pitch. I don't want to sound sales pitchy here, but I genuinely want you guys to win your leagues. And that's the truth. Why do I want you guys to win your leagues? Because I make a living doing this, blood, sweat, and tears. I do this year round. Buying 16 rounds is how I make a living. So I want to deliver the best possible products so that you guys can tell people, so that you guys come back next year and you buy my product so I can make a living and you guys win your leagues. I think it's a fair trade. And that's just a fact, okay? So I want you guys to win. All right, so that's why. So get 16-round draft solution. It's really going to help you. Also, I'm thinking of doing this every night at 9. So turn on your notifications, turn on the bell, and join me every night at 9. I think we're going to have fun. We're going to hang out, talk fantasy football. We're almost there, guys. I'm beyond excited, okay? So let's go. Rapid fire questions. I'm going to go pop, 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 pop. Going to answer your questions fast, hard, quick. Let's go. Devontae Adams, got him as my wide receiver 1. Him and Julio Jones. Feel a little bit safer with Julio Jones, but like Devontae Adams a little bit more because I like the ceiling. I think he takes a step up this year. I think, Aaron Rodgers throws the ball a lot more. Love him, okay? You're going to see me rapid fire because I know it's like the back of my head. Ready? Joe Burrow, again, I don't really trust the guy. A suspect offense, although the ceiling is there. It all depends, and it's predicated on A.J. Green, how he does, okay? Be careful. Kamara or Zeke, I like Zeke a little bit better, a little bit safer. Kamara, contract year, like the upside, but he's always part of a 1-2 punch. Expect around 800 rushing yards, around 80 receptions, on a healthy year out of Kamara. Safe, solid, secure, top 10 finisher every single year. In fact, Alvin Kamara had a low year last year, finished 9th in PPR numbers. This year, he's going to take a step up and definitely finish in the top 10 if healthy. But personally, with me, I like Zeke a little bit more. Lazard, a dynasty stash? Yes, why not? I also like Pittman and Claypool as dynasty stashes, including Justin Jefferson at wide receiver. Jefferson's a plug and play, a guy that you can put in, and he's going to succeed. He's actually going to come in potentially and, probably be a solid fantasy producer right out of the gate. Understand, guys, when Diggs produced, he had 150 targets in 2018. Diggs is gone, means that void is there. Jefferson's a plug and play. Love him, and I think he's great value for fantasy football 2020. A guy you could start this year right out of the gate. Love him. Dynasty play. Jacobs, Allaire, or Cook? Great question. Let's talk about Jacobs, Allaire, and Cook. Who do I feel the safest with? Josh Jacobs. Go back and watch his tape. He has amazing cutting ability. He's strong. He can catch the ball in the backfield. He's hungry. And I don't really trust Derek Carr throwing the ball a lot. I like Josh Jacobs running. And the nice thing about it is Josh Jacobs now has some receivers there. They've got Edwards now. They've got Ruggs. They've got Renfro. They've got Waller. They've got a pretty decent, underrated receiving core that's going to distract the secondary and open things up for Josh Jacobs. I really, really like Josh Jacobs this year. I like him ahead of Allaire. Now, trust me, I love Allaire. The problem is this. Let's talk mathematics. If you look at Damian Williams and look at LaShawn McCoy last year, combined between those guys, there's like 218 attempts. Mind you, Damian Williams only played like 11 or 12 games. So you got to subtract that. But understand, guys, my question is, if you get Allaire, I think he's going to be more like an Eckler, more like a Kamara. I don't think he's going to get the rushing attempts that you're going to desire. So if you're okay with a PPR monster, that's fine. But if you do get Allaire, put a note. I noticed you, Mike. I noticed you. He says, please notice me. I noticed you, Mike. There. I noticed you. Mike Zaddy. There you go. I'm giving some love to you guys. See? Don't say I don't notice you. If you do go Clyde Edwards-Helaire or any running back, because nobody's bulletproof, go. Thank you, Philly Phil. You are the man. No, you're the man. You're the man. All right. Try to go robust RB. And I talk about that in the 16-round draft solution. Have a backup plan for a backup plan for a backup plan. Now, let me make a point here. There's a ton of depth at wide receivers. Everybody's so afraid. I'm so afraid to get a wide receiver. If I end up, if I go robust, I end up with a Hilton or a Shark. Dudes, remember last year, Adams busted because he was hurt. Odell Beckham busted because he was Odell Beckham, right? Last year, a lot of wide receivers that are drafted early tend to bust. You're not bulletproof because you go Hopkins. You're not bulletproof because you go Adams. You're not bulletproof because you go Tyreek Hill. Now, I don't even like Tyreek Hill because he is volatile game in, game out. You are not immune to you're not just because you get a wide receiver early. So what I'm doing is I'm minimizing the risk. How much is 16 rounds, guys? I've priced it really competitive. You get a lot of value there. It's $24.95 or $99, I think. Yeah. So again, you get a lot of value for that. And if your league is over $50 buy-in, you're doing well. Man, I'm talking rapid, your throat dries up. So again, if you go Allaire, go robust, either way, you got to go robust RB. You're going to get a ton of value. Sleepers, Deontay Johnson, Cooks. You got McLaurin. I love him. I love the opportunity. Love the talent. Shark, Hilton. There's a ton of wide receivers you can get after the fact. I don't really like Edelman, but you get Edelman later, right? That guy can finish top 10. So, and not to mention Jefferson, all these rookies. I think this is the year, genuinely. I've done my research and looked at the opportunity. This is the honest truth. I think this is the year that wide receivers can make a significant impact. And another running back that you want to get that I think could take the job and be a top 10 guy that everybody's sleeping on is Clyde Edwards-Helaire. His average draft position is the 5th round. This guy is going to be a starter potentially out of the gate. Love Cam Akers. And this is going to be my my RB4, RB5 on my team if I'm going robust. So Cam Akers, literally, I'm going to have him as my RB3, 4, 5, and he could be my RB1. That's how much opportunity is. Another thing you got to look at, everyone's talking Swift. Now, I love Swift. I want to go on record in saying that Swift is one of the most talented running backs coming out of this draft. The one problem that I have is history, and history states to me that the Lions just don't produce running backs that put out fantasy points. They just don't. They haven't as of late anyway. So when I look at Swift, I look at a committee and I look at a situation where I'm like, am I going to get the fantasy production that I want? So I'm thinking maybe not. I don't know. So this is the problem that I'm having here with Swift. So Akers, I look at that situation. I look at what Gurley did, and I'm excited. Okay, that's what I'm saying. There's an opportunity there. How about Metcalf? I like Metcalf. My problem is that they're flirting with Antonio Brown. Do they really believe in him as a wide receiver 1? I don't know. That I like the upside. Do you lift, bro? Did you guys get tickets to the gun show? I've been working out a little bit at home, but I don't really lift that hard. I just kind of hit the bag, just try to stay toned and keep in shape. That's the whole thing. Top 5 wide receivers, guys. Everyone wants to see the fresh cut. Now hold on. By the way, this is my first cut since quarantine. So hold on. Look at this. That's fresh. He didn't even actually do a good job. He could have done better. I paid good money for this cut. Mind you, it looks better than what I did, but yeah, there needs to be gel. Once you gel it, it looks better. But this is like my first haircut since the quarantine, man. I'm telling you, it's been crazy. All right, back to this thing. Let's go. Back to this thing. Here we go. Let's go. Oh my God, I put this on backwards here. Okay. Let's continue on with the question here. Gurley or Johnson? I get this question asked a lot. I'm going to go Gurley because I like the offense. And the thing is, I can get David Johnson after. So if I go David Johnson, I probably won't be able to get Gurley after. Does that make sense? So I kind of want both in rounds 3 and 4. That's kind of ideal. Austin Murray Force says draft him. Our biggest piece of advice, honestly, I'm going to give you one, and I'm going to give you 2. Number 1, just get 16-round draft solution. Link in the bio. Just get it. You're going to be very, very happy, okay? That's my biggest piece of advice. But if you want another piece of advice, confidence and aim high on the depth chart. Do not settle. Do not just get a guy because of his name. I just did a video on top 5 tips on how to win your draft. So just go and check that out, okay? When are you boxing Le'Veon Bell? Probably soon, because Frank Gore is doing the best in that camp. So I'm thinking Le'Veon Bell might be pushed aside. I don't know, man. What do you think? By the way, guys, if you're on YouTube, I'd really appreciate it if you leave a thumbs up. It really helps the channel, gets more people in front of, this video in front. So please smash thumbs up. Takes a second of your time, and it really helps the channel. I'm going to rapid fire YouTube questions, but please leave a thumbs up. Madison or Moore? Out of the gate, I'm going to say Moss. Sorry, Moss or Madison. Thank you. A couple thumbs up are coming up. It means the world to me. Thank you. It means a lot, genuinely. I live and breathe this. I'm doing this for you guys. Okay, let me explain this to you guys. Moss or Madison? I genuinely feel Madison's going to start at some point in the season. I just don't trust Cook. But Moss out of the gate could take the job from Singletary. I think he's a better running back. Singletary's a small guy. I've been to the training camps, guys. I saw it last year. He's a small dude. So Moss is going to come in and run over people, and I think he's going to get some volume right out of the gate. So if you want early production or a solid flex play in a deeper league, you might want to consider Moss, but I definitely like Madison as a late round stash, the guy that could start. Now, if you're drafting Cook, which I don't recommend you do, you got to get Madison, but I recommend just get someone else like Kamara, Zeke, Henry, Jacobs, Allaire, and then get Madison. Now you're going to have 2 RB1s. Do you understand the strategy, what I'm doing here? Because Cook's going to go down, right? So instead of handcuffing Cook, just get a better running back that's going to finish the season and just get Madison. So now you've got yourself 2 RB1s when Cook goes down. Is Antonio Gibson a starting running back? I kind of like Bryce Love. I think he's doing really well in camp. So I think Gibson's going to be used not as often as you think. I think Peterson's going to start, then it's going to be Bryce Love, then Gibson, okay? What's up, Ben? I noticed you, man. I see you. Thank you, brother. Thank you, Sergio. Thank you. Please leave a thumbs up. Top wide receivers you like? Man, that's a good question. I like Adams. I like Julio. I like Kenny Golladay. I really like T.Y. Hilton, but I'm also, every time I grab T.Y. Hilton, I'm actually getting Michael Pittman. I'm just doing that. Michael Pittman apparently looking good, but Xavier Rose apparently in practice really defending well against him. So, he's been having trouble there with him, but I think Michael Pittman is going to be solid this year. Robbie Anderson, love him as a late round stash. Although, again, similar to guys like Mecole Hardman, Tyreek Hill, Robbie Anderson is going to be a boomy bust kind of guy. Hopefully, he builds that connection with Bridgewater, becomes more of a decent play. DJ Moore is going to be safe and solid. I just personally don't like him. I like more upside guys. Okay, so we got a question here from, who's that? Cool, my guy 5. He says, "Are you worried about Brandon Cooks with his concussion history? Keep up the good work, my friend. First year as a 16-rounder. All right, so let's talk about Brandon Cooks. Now, it's going to be him and Fuller. Now, I'm going to tell you some inside information here, cool guy. Basically, I talked to a friend who knows AB. I'm not going to say who. And from what I hear, the Texans were looking at Antonio Brown. Now, that could be a couple things. They want the true wide receiver 1, and that kind of scares me, the fact that they're flirting with Antonio Brown. So I don't know if Antonio Brown wants to go to the Texans, though, right? But he may end up there. So I want to let you guys know that. So that kind of turned me off a little bit about Cooks, but I love Cooks. Now, you're hearing in training camp where Fuller is kind of being the guy. They're saying, oh, well, Fuller is kind of my guy. Watson's been talking Fuller up, but Fuller can't stay on the field. I'm not really concerned about the concussions at Cooks. Now, if he takes a hard hit, then we're in trouble, but I think he's going to be okay. I think he is the wide receiver 1. But again, if you're drafting him, Coolio, my guy, I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Cool, my guy. Anyway, if you're drafting him, make sure he's your wide receiver 3 at minimum, okay? With upside as a late round guy, add that depth at wide receiver. That's another tip that I talk about. If you have 3 wide receivers, make sure you have 5 on the bench, okay? I do like Cooks, but again, like the Antonio Brown thing and they're talking about Fuller. If Fuller stays healthy, he could be the one there. So again, draft them in that order, okay? And welcome to 60 rounds. You're absolutely going to love the community. And thank you. Sanders, Hunter, Akers at flex. I'm gonna play flex Sanders that first week. That's pretty good running back depth, by the way. Josh Jacobs or Clyde Edwards-Helaire? Great question there, Mr. Singh. I'm gonna go with Josh Jacobs. Again, safe, secure. He's already got a year under his belt. He's gonna get the volumes. Helaire is good, and the ceiling is there, but he's gonna be contending with a couple running backs there that have more experience than him on that team. But Helaire, if his pass protection is good, he's gonna be the guy. But again, not so much in the rushing, more I think in the passing game because they've got a lot of targets there, okay? All right, let's keep going. Let's go back to Insta here. I don't care who the Kinsheeps is like if they like Drake. Listen, I want to go on record by saying, trust me, mark my words, I don't want to say I hate Drake. I think the ceiling is there. I just personally don't want to draft him. Just hasn't done anything for years. And from my history seeing this, we saw Damian Williams last year as a perfect proof of this. He hadn't done anything, and it showed, right? He hadn't done anything. And look how he turned out, right? McLaurin or Shark? That's a great question. Now, man, from what I heard from training camp, now, if you guys follow Fan to Fan Network, I was talking to Ed Oliver. He's the football team. I don't want to call them the other name anymore. He is the Washington football team ambassador on Fan to Fan Network. If you're not following, make sure you follow the page. And he was saying that Haskins and McLaurin looking really good. Now, if you watch tape on McLaurin, he's the guy that runs and gets that ball no matter what. He's going to get the volume, right? So is Shark. I feel a little bit more excited when I hear Shark, and it's just that the Haskins turn off. That's what's I think Minshew could do better. I think that connection is going to be better, especially like the touchdowns. I think Shark's going to end up with more touchdowns. It's going to be interesting. I think they're both good, and I think that's literally a coin toss. It's good. Try to get both because I think McLaurin's coming off a little bit earlier than Shark. So I think you're good either way, man. I think you're good either way. Carson or Drake? I'm staying away from Chris Carson. Why? They brought in Carlos Hyde. Now, again, Fan to Fan Network. This is what you're going to get that inside information. If you listen to our show, we're going live every Sunday We had a show last night, even Thursday we go live, we do a roundtable. I was talking to Norb Cam from the Steelers, gave me some inside information. Chris Carson lost a bunch of family members. They actually died. That's what I heard. He's missed a lot of time. So DJ Dallas and Hyde were getting a lot of the reps. So I hope Carson's good. I think he's back now, but I think Carson's still good. But then you're dealing with Carlos Hyde and DJ Dallas and all these other guys, and like Carson's gotten hurt. So I'm personally, again, staying away from Chris Carson. He is not on my radar. I got a political question, Trump or Biden. I'm not going to get into that. You guys can leave your comments below. Trump or Biden, I'm not going to get into politics here, to be honest with you, but man, it's been a crazy show, that's for sure, with the U.S. politics. Sally Martino says neither. Ben Nugent says Biden. A lot of people saying Bollock says Trump. Man, I just, you know what? Like, everybody gets angry at these guys like Trump. I just don't get angry because I don't let it affect me. I'm just kind of focused on my family, do my thing. I don't really let politics affect. I don't even watch news unless it's fantasy. I don't really get into the news. That could drive you nuts. All right. So I'm glad I'm sticking to sports. Thank you. All right. Gesicki. You know what? Something about Gesicki is like Trump train, people are saying. I'm not really, Gesicki's a guy, sorry, I'm really targeting here as a sleeper late. I think he's going to get some volume. I really, really think he's going to get some volume. Thoughts on Eckler. Again, you guys know Eckler replied to my comments. I hit 132 attempts last year. Good in PPR. I'm staying away. I'm really, really staying away from Eckler. I think he's going to be safe and solid, but he's not a true full workhorse running back. And they got Joshua Kelly. I like Joshua Kelly. I'll take Joshua Kelly as a late round sleeper, to fill in that Melvin Gordon, but that's it. I'm worried about Gurley's legs. No, I think he's going to be okay. Thank you, Mason. I appreciate it. I'm not worried about Gurley. Just draft him. Draft. You're going to go robust RB. You're going to be good. I talked about Chris Carson. Don't trust him. Fuller. I like Cooks a little bit better. I don't trust Fuller. Dobbins or Ingram. Dobbins is the guy going to be stepping up. Ingram's going to be that locker room guy, but I'm staying away right now. Maybe Dobbins next year, end of the season, maybe, but not right now. Adam Thielen. He's going to be safe and solid. But again, based on ADP, I'm not drafting Thielen. Give me Jefferson later, then I can get myself a running back for where Thielen is going. Are you comfortable? How comfortable are you with Derrick Henry? Here's the deal, and this is the truth. I want to go on record by saying this. I still think the ceiling is high for Henry, although I know when to hold him and I know when to fold him. Do I really want to fold on Henry this year? Not really. I still feel good about him. But the problem is I felt better about him last year. Let's put it that way. I hope that he does well. And I'm a Derrick Henry fan, but again, it's tough. Like, coming off a pinnacle year, anybody coming off a pinnacle year, I'm always kind of leery about drafting them. I kind of look for guys that are like, they kind of had a down dip and they're on the way up. Like, that's why I look at like Saquon Barkley, right? Josh Jacobs, right? I kind of look for those guys that are trending upwards instead of the guys that are up here that might be trending downwards. Does that make sense? You got to get a rhythm and a feel for the draft. And I talk about this in the 16-round draft solution, you guys. So it's very important, you guys, get that 16-round draft solution. As soon as we're done with this, thefantasyfootballaccounts.com, you're going to be very, very happy. People, I put everything into it. You're going to absolutely love it, okay? Woods or McLaurin? I'm going to go with Woods as a safer guy, but I like the upside of McLaurin. By the way, I appreciate everybody here. Please leave that thumbs up. It means a lot to me. And everybody being super cool. And it makes me want to come on and take away time from my family and be on with you guys. I appreciate everybody's passion and dedication to the channel. I wouldn't be here without you. So again, I just want to take a second to thank you guys and kiss your ass for a moment, because I really genuinely appreciate what you guys are doing here. Thank you for making my dream come true. One of the reasons I got into this was in 2015 when I lost my dad to a heart attack. I had started with a fantasy frame. It was like a custom frame I had created. I don't have any here to show you. And I came up with this frame and I put sports cards in it. If you guys were here when I was, originally on Instagram back in 2015, I came up with this frame, and it was a fantasy frame. It was a league prize. It's called Fantasy Frames. And then I lost my dad in 2015. And thank you guys. And then basically that really motivated me, that I really it was hard. And I'm like, hey, I can do something here. So I started putting out content with fantasy football, and it just started taking off. And then I started trailblazing. And again, thank you guys. And I appreciate everybody being here. Genuinely, it means the world to me. And I know Dad's looking down. So again, I know I come off a little brash on the, thank you, Tanner. Thank you, Julian. I come off, a little brash on my social media, but I do it because, I just want to have fun and I really want your best interest in not drafting players that could really hurt you. Okay. That's just the bottom line. Thank you guys. I appreciate it. Let's get back to your questions. And again, I'm doing this for dad, doing it for family. And I want to be on here every night at 9, try to give you guys as much value as I humanly possibly can. Counselor says, are you religious? Yes, but I don't really want to talk about religion and politics here. Because again, I respect everybody's religion and politics. I think that creates division if you start talking about that stuff. But yeah, I'm religious. So yeah. Thank you. What round do I draft my QB? 7th. I like the 7th round. You get a lot of value. I tend to aim for Ryan in around the 7th round. And I like Josh Allen. Now let's take a look at Josh Allen. I want your help here. I'm actually asking for your help. Josh Allen last year, 9 touchdowns. I think, and I'm told that he's going to throw the ball more. Now he's got a true wide receiver 1. If he declines in rushing touchdowns, which he had a pinnacle 9, he will make it up in passing. So I'm asking you guys, do you think that'll give him more or less fantasy points? If he increases his passing, right, but decreases his rushing, will he level out and still be a top 5, top 10 guy? I think he's going to do fine. I think he's going to be a solid top 5, top 10 guy. I think the talent is there. I think Diggs is there. I like Stephon Diggs. Diggs is going to demand the ball, and I think he's going to do really well. I like Allen. I like the ceiling. I like the upside. And I like the 6th round value. Okay. Now, another tip, strategy for you guys. And again, I've been listening to podcasts for years. Nobody's giving you practical draft advice like this. Aim for a quarterback in the 6th to 7th round. Okay. Make sure that it's an ace wide receiver always. And I talk about this in 16 round drafts. Make sure that you anchor your team with an ace quarterback. Okay. Always get a backup. Okay. So why do I get a backup quarterback? First of all, tell your commissioners, make sure you tell your commissioners you want more bench spots due to the world situation. If a guy gets under quarantine, you're going to be out a couple weeks. Okay. If you are a commissioner, do the right thing, add more bench spots on the roster. Okay. That's very, very important. Okay. If you know the commissioner, tell him we need more bench spots on our roster so you can have more players. If you're drafting this weekend, it's very, very important. Okay. So I tell you, get a quarterback, get a backup. Why? Number 1, covering your bye weeks. Number 2, injuries. Okay. And number 3, lack of performance, because nobody is bulletproof, right? There's a chance that your quarterback just doesn't perform to where you think they're going to perform. And then, I'll give you a perfect example. This is the example I use all the time, okay? You go back, I think a year or 2 ago, I had Drew Brees starting and I had Matt Ryan as a backup, okay? Drew Brees would have these boomer bust games and I get really upset. So I ended up starting Matt Ryan, and Matt Ryan ended up doing better. So my backup ended up doing better. Another example, the year Mahomes went off. I can't remember who my starter was, but I had Mahomes in the 10th round, okay? Got him at value. Mahomes was starting for me, okay? So you got to be smart. You got to think outside the box, belt and suspenders, okay? All right, why is Aaron Jones predicted to have a bad year? Listen, Aaron Jones has only finished 1 out of his 3 years he's played. So durability is always a question mark. Last year, he had the pinnacle year of his life, 16 touchdowns. Not going to happen. I don't see that happening. They brought in A.J. Dillon, okay? Contract year for Aaron Jones, I believe. So Dillon, I think if he breaks out, could be the guy, and then they just part ways. This is happening on a lot of teams, okay? They're going to part ways potentially with Aaron Jones. Same thing with the Colts, okay? They want to phase out Marlon Mack. Now, Marlon Mack is the leader. He's doing the best out of training camp right now. But again, that's because he knows the offense well, right? He knows the team really well. So a lot of these teams, guys, they are phasing out the veterans and putting in these stud rookies take that job. Swift is going to move in, right? Dobbins is going to move in, right? Taylor's going to move in, right? They're all shifting. They're all moving, okay? So, that's what's happening. James Conner will be a workhorse if healthy, but I still think Snell's going to get his work just for sheer preservation of Conner. My gut's telling me I'm staying away from Conner. I don't know what it is. Again, I like him as a person, but for fantasy, I can't do it. Chubb or Mixon, Sally, I'm staying away from both of those people, okay? with Kareem Hunt there, I can't do it. Mixon, I don't see a huge ceiling from him. I haven't seen one. What changes this year that all of a sudden Mixon's going to be a top guy? I don't see it. Miles Sanders, Aaron Jones, Nick Chubb, or Joe Mixon. I'm going to go with the ceiling of Miles Sanders. Hope they don't bring anybody else in. Montgomery, if anything, I think they sit him for the first week. That's the worst case scenario. Then he comes back, okay? I understand, guys. Freeman's still lingering. There's still a couple other guys that are lingering free agents that could come in and buzzkill. I think Devontae Freeman and Antonio Brown are going to buzzkill a wide receiver and a running back on a team. I don't know who. Could be the Eagles. Could be anything. Is Clyde Edwards safe at the first round? If you're just joining us here, Josie Rios, I talked about this. If you go Clyde Edwards-Helaire, then you got to basically go robust RB. Okay, I got a question here from Sergio. What's going on, Sergio? Appreciate you being on. If Wilson falls to the sixth round, would you draft him or wait for Ryan on the 7th? Now, Wilson typically falls the 6th round, okay? So, again, every league varies, Sergio. It depends on the league. I like Wilson in the 6th round. I think he's safe and solid. He could outperform Matt Ryan. If you go look at his finishes, Wilson always finishes on top, okay? But if you want Matt Ryan, based on hundreds of mock drafts I've done, if you absolutely want Matt Ryan, you got to get him early 7th. Again, that's based on a 12-person league. So I think you're still okay, Sergio, if you go Wilson, Ryan, okay? Either one of those guys between round 6 and 7. Another guy I like there is Josh Allen. But make sure, again, I talked about this in 60-round drafts, so make sure you get a solid backup no matter what. I love Wilson, love Ryan, okay? But always get a backup. Backups I like. Rivers, right? I like Bridgewater. I love Drew Lock. Love the ceiling of Drew Lock. Love him as a backup that could just take off on your bench, man. Sky's the limit, okay? Let's keep going here. Thoughts on Odell and Bell. Now, again, Frank Gore has been destroying it in training camp. Frank Gore has been doing really, really well. So, again, I'm a little concerned there with Bell. Safe, secure numbers. I don't see a high ceiling. They don't have any receivers in there. So I don't really trust it. Odell, I hate to say this. I think he has a better year this year because I'm not an Odell fan, but I think his ADP is right. I'm personally not drafting him. Again, I'm personally not drafting Odell, although I want to go on record by saying I think he's at the right ADP. Like he was in the first round 3 years in a row, and I said, stay away, and I was right. I think he's finally where he needs to be, but I'm still staying away. And I'm staying away from that whole offense. I don't trust anybody there. The situation, is Landry the wide receiver 1? Is Odell right? Based on last year's stats, Landry's the wide receiver 1. So why would I draft Odell ahead of Landry? It doesn't make sense to me, right? And like when I look at Chubb, why would I spend a late first round, early second on a guy that was outscored by Kareem Hunt 6 out of the 8 games of PPR? I wouldn't do it. I just wouldn't do it. All right, let's keep going here. Is AJ Green going to be good this year? I don't trust his injury history. I just don't. I don't trust him. He's fallen off so far that for him to like come back up could happen. Just don't know. Why are you so big? Why are you so big on Miles Sanders? They use Boston. It's not that I'm big on Miles Sanders. It's just that he came on strong at the end of last season, and I see the ceiling for Miles Sanders. That I think he's hungry, he's young, he's dynamic. His touchdowns need to go up. So yeah, I definitely see Scott near the goal line or someone else. But again, I'm not like overly over the top crazy, but I definitely see the appeal, the upside, and I'm always packaging him with a guy like a Gurley or someone else in the first 2 rounds where I don't have to worry. And again, Helaire and Miles Sanders are big question marks. Okay. What's the situation with Deontay Johnson? I think he's fine. I think he was sitting a couple of practices, but I think he's okay. I haven't heard anything bad, but I think he's going to be okay. Taylor Akers, that's a great question. Now, ADP-wise, you're going to have to pay more if you want Jonathan Taylor. It's just the way it is. Mac is doing better in camp right now. But is that going to last in real-time games? I think Taylor's the guy. I think Akers out of the gate could come out stronger, but I think long-term dynasty, Taylor's going to be the guy. I think he's more talented, but I love Akers. I love both. And I think you can get both. You can get like Taylor in like rounds 3, right? And you can get Cam Akers in round 5, right? So it's up to you guys. Who should I sit week 1? Clyde Edwards-Helaire, Josh Jacobs, Gurley, or DJ? Wow. That's tough. Man, that's tough. I would probably sit Clyde Edwards-Helaire, right? Because the other guys are starting right out of the gate. And Clyde was there. We're going to have to see week 1 how he does, right? Feel him out week 1, right? It's okay. He's playing Houston. I like David Johnson. David Johnson's coming out hungry, experienced. It's going to be interesting, okay? All right, guys, couple more questions. I got to go up and watch. By the way, I'm curious, what do you guys watch on Netflix? Curious, way off topic here. I'm watching Kingdom, the MMA show. Have you anybody watched Kingdom? We just finished Animal Kingdom, and the wife and I. Now we're watching Kingdom. Anybody seen Kingdom? We finished You. We're caught up on You. We caught up on Ozark. Cobra Kai. We watched the first season of Cobra Kai. It was good. High score. Not really. My wife doesn't relate to that. I would, but what else is there good on Netflix? Rewatching Office. I don't know, man. I can't get into that right now. I want like a good show like Animal Kingdom, but I can't find a good show. Breaking Bad. I've already seen that. All American. Haven't seen that. Arrow, I haven't seen that. I was watching Flash, then I kind of got bored of it. Odell, Mike Evans, and why? Mike Evans and Godwin. I want to say this, guys. Be careful. You're investing a second or third round pick. Be careful with those guys, okay? We don't know who the wide receiver one's going to be. We don't know. Be careful. Umbrella Academy, thoughts on Cooks. We talked about him. He's safe as a wide receiver 3 with upside, but be careful. Riverdale, the 100. Trust me, 100. Okay. Subra. I was watching Fawada. It was okay. It was Fawada, or whatever it's called. It was like, anyway, I was watching a bunch of different shows, and I don't know, man. I'm kind of like tapped out of these shows. I like Hilton. You get Robinson a little bit. The thing I'm going to say Hilton over at Allen Robinson, because honestly, you can get yourself a running back at that point where Robinson's coming off. I like Hayden Hurst. The ceiling's high. Kenny Galladay. I like the ADP better than I like Adams' ADP. Henry or Kamara, I like Henry. All right, guys, listen. Tomorrow at 9, I'm going to do this again. I'm going to try doing this. I know it's draft weekend, so I got to be here for you guys. Get the 16-round drafts with you guys. I got to roll out. I thank everybody for being here. And again, we're going to talk again tomorrow. Subscribe to this channel. Leave a thumbs up on your way out. And I appreciate it, guys. Okay? I got to roll out. Got to go watch. Wife's going to probably want me up there watching a show with her. So I got to roll out. Thank you guys for being here. And Lion mentality, guys. I am out. I'm absolutely out. I appreciate it. Go get 16 rounds. Link in bio. Appreciate it. Or thefantasyfootballcounselor.com if you're here on YouTube. Love you guys. I appreciate you guys. And I am out. Go get 16 rounds.